Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. Today is the 4th of June, episode number 147 of Grit and Good News. As always, we broadcast live from our palatial studios in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the Ellis County Courthouse. And I am your co-host, Jeff Lynch. Our man at the board is our man, Sam Brooks. And next to me, to my right, is Man About Town, Scott Brooks.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Grit and Good News. Thank you for being here. It is Thursday. We do this show every Tuesday and Thursday, noon to 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. Jeff, Sammy, and I cover a bunch of stuff, and we just talk like we're sitting around a fireplace or on our back patio, just having a fun, great discussion. Hey, Tammy, thank you for being here. So you're not going to find any pretense here. You're not going to find any attempt to show off or be smarter than we are. We're just three guys that care about things going on both in our community and across the country and in our state for that matter. So you can get all of what we provide because there's lots more to it than this. But if you go to substack.com, search Grit and Good News, you will find us there. You can see the logos, I think, on our, it's the same logo that you see there on the front of our monitors. And for $5 a month, you get more content than you think and get it sent to you automatically Monday and Friday mornings. So
And he forgot to mention that if you sign up, you can go back and see we're somewhere in the 80s on how many episodes.
Yeah.
You go back and you get them all.
Yeah, so you can get everything. We have video, we have links, we have our columns and opinion poems. We have Sammy's columns, which are all sports related. So you get a lot of stuff. You know, my wife tells me, I just realized, my wife told me I was when we got out of the church and in my truck the other day on the way to wherever we were going, she said, Scott, you're gonna knock me out one of these days with your hands. Because I guess I can't, they make fun of Gavin Newsom because he's always doing weird stuff. And I know my wife will tell me if I'm doing weird stuff, but can you talk without using your hands? I'd have to sit on my hands tonight. Hey Terry, welcome, bud. Hope you're doing well. Tell mom and dad we said hi.
I tell you, one time I noticed it. It's because I'm all by myself and nobody else to be seeing what's going on. In our Substacks, I always do the audio of mine.
Yeah.
And I do it into my phone. I got my phone propped up.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading it, and it doesn't really matter. I don't have to be really looking at anything but my script.
Yeah.
I'm reading it, and I got my hands going.
Yeah.
They're helping me to give some emphasis to points that I want to give emphasis
I just
to.
don't know how to do it without using my hands. So lots to talk about. We're going to start with our number of jerseys of pro athletes in all four sports. It corresponds with our episode, which is 147, as Jeff told you. So we take that 47 and say, Sammy, go out into the world and find known. I don't need to know about some guy played in 1890, Sammy. Known athletes.
You want
pro
players?
Athlete. Number 47. Are we starting with what? Football?
Yeah. I only got 3 sports.
Mel Blunt.
Well, he's the only player.
Huh?
He's the only player.
Okay.
He's the only one you have?
No, he's the only player, I think.
Well,
I mean,
you just said you had 3.
We got John Lynch.
Well, that's another player.
Okay.
Linebacker for Denver Broncos, I think.
And Tampa Bay.
Okay. Joey Browner.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Ronnie Coleman.
Okay, well, Mel Blunt was number 47 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. As a matter of fact, our friend Chuck Beatty, who lives here in Waxahachie, played for the Steel Curtain days for the Steelers on defense as a defensive back. I think Blunt came after Chuck, but Blunt is the one who still today wears a cowboy hat. Always did. And good looking, now he's bald, but good looking guy. But every time I see him, he's got
a Western hat, not a Dallas Cowboy hat.
Western hat. Yeah. Thanks for that clarification, because that would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. What's the next one?
MLB.
47. I don't know, a freaking unknown pitcher that's got an ERA of 14 somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Tom Glavine.
No,
Glavine.
Oh, sue me.
For Glavine for the Braves.
Pretty well known.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Jack Morris.
Oh yeah, for the Tigers and Twins.
We got Bruce Hurst, multiple teams. Howie Kendrick for the Nationals, and Johnny Cueto.
Soweto pitcher. All right.
NHL.
You got one that counts.
Jack Hughes.
No.
47. I don't know if 47 is
Give them
high.
all, and then I'll tell
Why
you about
would
the
I?
one that counts.
Corey Krug for the Blues.
Nobody.
Alexander Radulov for the
He
Stars.
counts. We'll come back to him.
To play for the Stars. We got Hampus Lindholm for the Ducks. Hampus. Yeah. These NHL players, man.
That's what I should. Hampus Brooks. Come on, Hamp.
Marc-Andre Bergeron for the
Yeah,
Canes.
he's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, good.
Alexander Radulov. I was getting ready to pull my 47 Radulov jersey from the Winter Classic
Mhm.
out of my closet. And then I remembered it was a 4X, and I absolutely drowned in it. And our poem today is about mirrors and scales. Um, this man did once weigh 388 pounds, and I bought that jersey in my 388
Yeah.
days. And that Winter Classic was in 2000. So in fall of 19 and in 2000, he had to be my favorite star. If that's why
Yeah.
that's who I picked. So I did a little more research on him. He was the 14th overall pick. He won the Memorial Cup for the top junior team in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was on 2 Russian World Cups in the days that you couldn't get into the Olympics. And then now he's been 8 seasons. You know what? Where they play in Russia, their professional league is called the Continental League
Yeah.
with a K.
KHL. Yeah.
And guess what? He's led his team to the last 2 continental
Nice.
championships. And he is a great guy. He's 6'1", 214. He's just a bull of a man. And well, I can tell you what, in 2020 he was my favorite star. That's all I got.
All right. There you go. More you ever wanted to know about who? Radulov.
Alexander Radulov.
All right. Sam, what about we didn't do basketball?
47. Nobody wore 47 in
Nobody
basketball.
ever wore 47.
Somebody did.
All right, so there you have it. More than you ever wanted to know about the number 47, but you only hear here. NBA Finals, we've got the game 1 last night where the Spurs played pretty well. I mean, Wemby came out, the first shot he took was a 3 and sank it, but then he had a 1 of 8 run. But up until about towards the latter part of the third quarter, New York took over and just there's no stopping Wemby when he's on, but Wemby is 7'4" and he can easily lose the ball when he brings it down, to dribble it or to hold it down. If you get it up high, he can't touch it. But so he stops himself more than anybody. But Jalen Brunson is a stud.
Very
I mean,
good.
he had 30 last night and he was making some shots like,
And didn't he
holy
play like
cow.
a champ just a minute before, a minute after we traded him?
He started showing signs of being really, really good here, and then we traded him.
We didn't trade it. We let him walk.
Yeah,
You let him walk?
that's even worse.
That is that.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
So
because you got nothing. Yikes.
anyway, but Spurs lost at home.
At home.
So if they lose tomorrow night, at home, it's over.
You think it's over?
I know it's over.
No.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a sweep if they lose at
No.
2 at home. Why would you say that? If they lose 2 at home,
Because I still
what
believe
makes
they
you
can
think
win
they
a
would
game.
go win on a road against the Knicks?
Because they won on the road in OKC.
Yeah, but this is an OKC.
But
This is the team. Did you see here last night at the end? They've won 12 games in a row.
yeah,
The Knicks. That's
Wemby's not worried about
And
that.
then what is one of the more stupid things I've ever seen
And,
is that
well, 11 straight. And
they've won 12 straight.
I
Last night's
read
game
that
was
in the
12.
paper, and then I looked at it again, and
I
then
thought it said the guy last night said this is 12 in a row.
I saw
Yeah.
2 different things. So I went back. They were
Oh.
2-2 the first round, 4-0, 4-0, and now they're 1-0, and that adds up to 11 and 2, 4-4, 2.
Yeah, well, I'm
One.
just telling you what they said last night on the
I
TV.
agree. I saw it in 2 ways in the paper. That made me look it up, which then spurred me to look at the Spurs, and they are 13-5.
Yeah,
Which then spurred me to look at Carolina, 12-2, playing against Vegas, 13-5.
Yeah,
What we got is a series. You know, the haves and the have-nots.
yeah.
We got nothing but haves playing,
Well,
right?
yeah. Well, the have-nots are about to get the haves headed towards have-nots are about to get swept in both. If Carolina can't beat Vegas in Carolina, it's over. I'm telling you, it's over. And And
I
I'm not pulling for
100%
Vegas.
agree.
I'm not
100%.
pulling for Vegas because I really do want to see Rod Brindamore win one as a coach for the same team he won one as a player.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
But their goalie was a sieve the other night, so we'll see. All right, Rangers they were on a 4 or 5 game winning streak. They lost last night against the Cardinals. I'm not sure where they
Boo.
go now to play, but anyway. And then Sammy, I wanted to just have you mention what your column you posted it today.
I'm posting it today. Yes.
Okay, so what? Tell us what it was about.
It was about
Can't even remember.
what was
Was it
the
about the
most
Cowboys?
recent one? I think this is about the Yeah, this is about the NBA Finals.
Huh? I thought it was about the Cowboys.
Mm,
Are you sure?
that was last week.
Kennedy, type over and tell us what
No,
Sammy's headline was.
it's
Or
headlined "Youth versus Experience on Basketball's Biggest Stage."
oh yeah, okay.
That's this week.
Yeah. So you were you making the claim in that column that youth will win out?
No, I was just talking about how back in 1999 was the last time these two teams met in the finals, and now
That's right.
it's like if you look at the Knicks, none of these players they acquired in the draft, they all built through free agency and
Yeah, the
trades.
Knicks have been such a disappointment for so long, and they
Uh,
got a jerk of an owner, Tom Dolan. But I think they if they can keep this team together, they're going to be hard to beat.
yeah, I mean, I feel like this is the year. If they don't, I mean, they're only getting
So
older.
so what about this being the year of the Cowboy?
Yeah, I mean, this
Cowboys.
has got to be their year. This
All
has to
right.
be.
So I've challenged Sammy that if he really believes if this is the year, and Terry, are you listening? That if this is the year that he put it out there in his column, that it's okay to say, you know what? I recognize that longer than Sammy's been alive, people like us have said this is going to be a good year for the Cowboys, and we've come up. What the last time Cowboys were in the Super Bowl was in 1995, so we're now on 31 years of saying this is going to be the year. But I believe, and I've challenged Sammy if he believes it to write about it, that this really is the year for the Cowboys to at least get to not at least, but to get to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they'll win it, but to get to the Super Bowl.
You know that for a number of years now, the entire stadium, AT&T Stadium, is completely sold out.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to get a ticket, you either got to know somebody that wants to sell it to you, or you go to the NFL Ticket Exchange, or you go to SeatGeek,
Whatever.
one of
Yeah.
those types of places. But quite regularly, certain teams are huge travelers here. Washington's huge, New York's
Yeah.
huge, Chicago, Packers, Minnesota. A lot of those teams, and you go to those games,
Yeah.
and you know that those people had to buy their tickets the way I just told you, and they're already expensive enough, and so they're paying a premium to see their team down at ATT,
Yeah.
the greatness against America's team.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
So we'll see, Sammy. Be thinking about it. And the last thing I want to say about the sports part of things is that the Stars have announced that they're moving to the old Valley View, I think. Oh no, the mall. Yeah, in Plano.
Willow Bend.
Yeah, Will Bend Mall where it's at. So no more. Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. Stars. So we're losing 2 teams from downtown where we can go see them. We can be there in no time, but to get to Plano will be a pain in the butt.
What about Valley View? What? Because I'll make that
Valley
drive.
View is on. It's a further drive
It is.
than where it's been.
Well, no, but Valley View is closer than going to Plano,
Yeah,
but
but
farther than downtown.
Yeah.
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 All right.
So I was doing a little research on the economics. Rita was saying, I mean, how can they do that? I said, well, I think the demographics skew to the fact that they're certainly not appealing to us south of the Trinity, and they've always had a strong base from the northern suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that relates to that is that the demographics of the new stadium are going to be more conducive to rich people. They're going to have less cheap seats. They're going to have less suites that are actually, they got a bunch of suites that don't really get used and they only hold 12 people. They're going to reconfigure that in a different way. And then the luxury packages for the good seats, it's all driven about how much revenue can you get per game. It's not in today's world. Attendance is just the stepping stone to total spent.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Which
I just think I love to see cities where their sports teams are all downtown.
well, I do too.
And Buffalo, we never had the Bills downtown, and it's still not going to be downtown. They're right across the street from where they were. Which, by the way, that old stadium that I went to is being torn down piece by piece. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but the Stars are projected to open in a new arena in 2031. So there you have it. Our Tarnations. All right, kids, well, there are a few Tarnations. Sammy, can you cue up the coach, the one I sent you this morning, the video of did you watch it? The Red Sox baseball coach, the third base coach? Cue that one up and tell me when you got it. Is that it? So, yeah, so I hope that's it. Tarnations are not always bad. We could see something great happen and say, what in the world is going on? So I want you to just take a look at this. Is inane. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's just I'm a sports fanatic and have been since I can remember getting out of diapers. And this is something I have never seen in my long years of watching baseball at every single level. Sammy, play it. So tell me when you got it. But anyway, we have several videos for today, but I wanted you to see this one first to get us started. Tell me when you're ready. All right, hit it.
Hot shot. That's down the line past Mayo.
Watch the third base coach.
Keep on bouncing up against the monster.
Look at him.
Abreu rounding third, going to wave him in. He's going to try and score. The throw home. He is safe. He got in. He's going to challenge this call at home plate.
Watch.
This is something that I had not seen.
The ball hit him?
No.
In the angle and waving
He went inside the bases.
I have never in my life on a baseball field seen that.
I don't even know if you can do that.
You can do that. It's okay, Sam. So the what do you call those? The replay requests or whatever. What do you call it when they do that? Yeah, the challenge was reversed, but it had nothing to do with the coach running onto the field. So the coach runs from essentially where the third base coaching box is, where he's normally waving them home or holding them stop. He ran onto the field of play and was pulling for his runner to go home. But if you watch the motion, he's actually, I think, if I remember this correctly, because he went into the field of play and was turned around, his motion was actually sending him back, but he was trying to send him home. But it looked funny because the runner, he's getting a go-ahead to go home, but actually the motion is to go back. But he's inside the base. He's like where the third baseman would play for a bunt. I thought that was hilarious. You are allowed to do that, but I never, like that guy said, he's never seen it. I've never seen it. I mean, you can't touch a player. I mean, I've seen coaches do that and be called out for it or whatever, but you can run into the field of play. As a coach, as long as you don't interfere with the play, you can go into the field of play and do what he did. Pretty remarkable. Black Crowes. So I'm a Black Crowes fan in and up to the fact, or so far as the songs I know by the Black Crowes, I like the Black Crowes, but I only like 2 songs.
Did they do that real rhythmic deal?
I'm sure they did. I would have to hear it to know, but they've got a distinct
kind of like the
sound.
theme for the Super Bowl in 13 was here.
I don't know, but they have a distinct sound. Sammy, I want you to play that video. This is them at a concert the other night. We talked a lot about musicians believing for some reason that their stage upon which people paid lots and lots of money to see them perform, not preach or have a political rally. The Black Crowes didn't get that memo. So here are the Black Crowes from just the other night, and I'll set it up by saying they're in the concert, middle of the concert, the song's over. I don't know where they are, but obviously somebody in the crowd's videoing it. And for whatever reason, the fans start chanting USA, USA, USA. And then you'll see what the Black Crowes the lead singer of the Black Crowes has to say about this. Go ahead, Sam.
Some of us have real faith. And for those of you booing us, some of us are not afraid. And we most assuredly are not ignorant. So thank you.
Yeah, you told me, Chris.
I think that's it. So
What's that even mean?
you didn't get to see hear the part of it, the USA part. So for whatever reason, the song was over. I don't know what song it was, but the fans in unison, like you see in a lot of places, USA, 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 and he got up to the mic to get them to stop, and they simmered down, and then that's what he said to them as a result of the chant USA, USA. He told them, he told them by saying he's not crazy or no, he's not scared or afraid. He's telling them that they are, and he's calling them F words, this F word, that. I mean, these are the guy's fans saying these things, and yet the guy's berating them, and as it were, uh, you heard the boos, and then people started leaving.
So this whole sort of thing is continually newsworthy. In 147 shows, I got a number in my head, and I want you to tell me how many times we have talked about the fact that we don't care about the views, political views of entertainment or athletes. I got a
Oh,
number in
well,
my
I
head.
mean, I out
I'm
of
saying at
140,
least,
yeah, I mean, probably 5, 10 times.
I was going to say 25.
Well, it could be. I
You
mean,
know,
I don't know. We've talked about it a decent amount. I mean,
yeah.
probably talked about it more than I realized anecdotally. But the idea that I go to a concert and I pay, let's just say, we were going to take, I decided not to because of the money, but I was going to take several people to see something. Uh, and I didn't, it was a sporting event, so less likely to hear somebody rant about this like this guy did. But if I go to a concert and the concert dude starts talking this trash, I'm booing and I'm leaving probably. I mean, Sonny and I love Gary Allen. We go see him often as we can when he comes to the Metroplex area. But and he's as patriotic and Texan and all that as you can get with great music. He's never once said anything about good or bad about politics. I just don't understand these people, entertainers and musicians have convinced themselves that because their music resonates, that what they think and say about politics will resonate, and it doesn't. It has the opposite effect. So I wanted you to hear that. I want to play for you two videos, and we can weigh in on them. We've talked sometimes, and we've written about it too, about what, and I know you guys have seen it too. What it's like, uh, the actual setting for Congress when they have hearings. And so, like with yesterday, the day before, I don't know about today, but Marco Rubio's been on the Hill, Capitol Hill, in hearings. Mark Wayne Mullins has been up there, and really, each of these senators and representatives get 5 minutes each, and they go from conservative to or Republican, Democrat, back to Republican, back to Democrat. 5 minutes each time, okay? And there it's a hearing. I mean, that's a clue that this is supposed to be. I ask you questions and you answer. Well, as we've seen over the past many years, it's become a performative deal where all we hear about are these clickbait attempts uh, by these senators and representatives to just go on and on and on and never give the person the hearing is for a chance to say anything. And for far too long, these people in Congress just thought they could do it, and too bad if you don't like it. Well, now, particularly with Trump's administration, we've seen, and we talked about in the show, how people are, I mean, Hexeth, by example, Kristi Noem when she would go up there, Pam Bondi when she was there, Scott Besson. I mean, these guys are brilliant at being able to say, wait a second, you don't get to just say that and then leave it there. So I want to show you two videos of how I think this should be handled. You may be shocked at what you hear. You may say, yeah, that's the way it should be, or you may think it's adding to the incivility. But I think it's the way these people should be pushed back on. So let's play, Sammy. What do you have there first? Besson. All right. So let me just set that. Scott Besson, who is the Treasury Secretary, he's also brilliantly smart. He's a big guy. He's a homosexual, self-avowed homosexual, which you wouldn't suspect by the way he acts. But he's the one who told uh, somebody, another peer of his in the Trump administration, that I'll kick your, you know what? This is him talking to the longtime congressman, senator from Oregon, Ron Wyden, who is a creep if there ever was one. But watch this exchange.
Senator Wyden has mendaciously slandered the Treasury building in an attempt to cover up his son having an investment meeting with Jeffrey Epstein to ask for funding. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Let's be clear here. Nobody is interested in the ramblings of a capo in the most corrupt regime in American history. We want to get some facts about this deal. That's what we're here for. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I will ask my questions first today. And we would like to hear what Adam Wyden and Jeffrey Epstein talked about. Your son's largest investment position was Rick's Cabaret. So did your son and Jeffrey Epstein talk about pole dancing as he begged him for money using your limited credibility?
Should I just proceed?
A liberal.
I'm going to proceed. Senator Wyden.
A Democrat Senator Wyden, who has been there for a long, long, long time. These people just age and age and age and then die right in front of us. But he's obviously feeble, crooked as hell. And Scott Besson said, wait a minute, you're going to just disparaging Treasury because you don't like Trump. Let's talk about what you should be talking about. And that is your son was hooked at the hip to Epstein, and his biggest investment was in a cabaret. And let's talk about that. That's what for me, that's what's needed here. These guys have got to say to these senators and arrogant, pompous politicians, this is not how it's going to go. To reinforce that, watch this exchange between Mark Wayne Mullins. Now, I'll just say this, call me crazy, but no guy named Mark Wayne ought to be messed with. All right. It's like messing with Jim Bob.
Right.
Or Tommy Boy. It's Mark Wayne Mullins from Oklahoma, who was a senator, is now the secretary for the Department of Homeland Security. He's getting into it with Van Hollen. If you remember, Van Hollen is from Maryland, a senator from Maryland. And I believe he's a senator, he might be a representative, that went down and had drinks, remember, with Abreu, whatever his name was, who was being shipped out of the country,
right,
and protecting him. It's just obnoxious. But here's Van Hollen, who really has no claim to fame other than just being a smart aleck. This is the exchange.
And I do want to say something too. We arrest between
Mr. Secretary. I'm sorry. I have limited time.
No, but you said you accused there to be a pattern.
If the chair is going to permit additional questions,
I was answering what you said is a pattern. You made an accusation that it was
a
pattern.
And Mr. Secretary, I went on. There was a pattern. The Secretary Noem said the same thing.
But you said
all statements regarding
not a pattern.
That's a pattern.
She said it with Renee Good too. 1,900 people a day. There is not a pattern of this.
Please, the reality
is exaggeration of words.
Words matter.
They do,
and I will tell you.
You of all people should know that words matter. And so when you say
there's
a pattern, there's not a pattern.
Oh, I would say 3 in a row is a pattern.
No, sir.
Secretary.
That's not a pattern. We arrest 1,900 people.
Let's get out the dictionary.
Put
your semantics aside. The reality is this is a big
problem. There is no semantics behind this. A pattern of 3 people and we average 1,900 a day is not a pattern.
You've just acknowledged your predecessor made statements that were not factually accurate. I want to go. So it sounds like you're not willing to share evidence with the state authorities who are trying to get to the bottom of this. And I will just say, Mr. Secretary, that given the statements that came out of this administration, including the White House, it is hard to trust this administration to do an independent investigation. That's why it's important.
But yet you trust the last administration?
I didn't. I'm talking about giving it to the authorities.
No, I'm just saying, we're calling Apple what an apple is. Let me ask you.
I want to ask you.
Don't sit there and start picking one administration to believe in another administration not to believe.
Secretary, just.
And I do want to say something to you.
So, again, I'm not a fan of just incessant hatred and argument, although I find myself in those predicaments from time to time. Far fewer of those predicaments do I find myself when I just don't respond. And to the extent that I write and share my opinion. That's it anymore. I'm not going to get into a piss and match with a skunk, as they say, excuse the expression. But that's what's happening here. Chris Van Hollen has done nothing while he's been an elected official except do this performative stuff. And Markwayne Mullins is like Rubio and others who say, enough already. I think that's how I would be. I think if I was just a layperson even and I was called up to Congress to let's just say comment on the state of newspapers in America, and one of these clowns started playing games, I know I would come back that way. So there you have it.
Let's go a different direction if we could on a tarnation.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite of what we're talking about, people getting old and rotting in Congress and then dying. My Spotify threw a feature at me a couple months ago where it told me about some people's upcoming albums and that they'd notify me when they came out. And all of a sudden I look this morning, I'm getting ready to take my walk with my dog, and I see the Willie Nelson new album came out on Tuesday the 2nd. It's called Dream Chaser, and he co-wrote 6, one of which he co-wrote with Dylan. He did 4 covers. He's 93 years old. He's got 51 albums out. He's just an icon, and I'm telling you what, there's nothing wrong with any of these songs he wrote, man. They'll still, some of them will tug at your heart, and some of them will make you laugh. It's still a beautiful thing.
93 years old.
Can you believe
It's
that?
hard to believe. For those of you that live in the Metroplex area, the trial for Kayvon, what is his name? Carmelo Anthony begins today. And the interesting thing about this trial, one, is that only in America, I think, only in America, at least, well, I'd say there are corrupt countries that you can go kill somebody, and because you're connected to the corruption, they're going to let you free. But in America, the idea that you could get into an argument with somebody who didn't have a weapon and who you were in his area and you pulled a knife and stabbed him in a verbal argument, can that really, now, I should listen to the trial probably before saying this, but that doesn't seem like self-defense to me. Now, so there's a lot to be learned here, but this is a 2 young high school kids, a year and a half or a little over a year ago, who got into a verbal argument at track meet, and Carmelo Anthony, the African-American kid, stabbed the white kid, and the white kid died. Here are just a couple of facts I'm going to share with you. Carmelo Anthony's murder trial has begun in Collin County, which is just another, hour on the other side of 30 minutes on the other side of the Metroplex, over the fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf during a Frisco track meet in April 2025. Anthony says he acted in self-defense. The jury, what's interesting about this case, Jeff and I were just talking about it in prep, that the jury has no black jurors. Now, when this happened, because there's a black and a white here, those race baiter attorneys that run out every time you see something like this happen, they're right here in Dallas, some of them, represent Carmelo Anthony. All right. So it's hard for me to fathom how a jury could be sat with no black jurors on it. And as you mentioned earlier, that the black jurors who were considered were what? Disqualified
Because
for,
they were educators.
yeah. So this happened in a school. So there are no black jurors. So the minute this turns into he's guilty is the minute that racism is played again. All right, that this is all about racism, not about him actually pulling a knife out of his bag and on his own stabs a guy in the chest. It's about he's going to jail not because of that, but because the rest of us, the whites on that jury, are racist. That's what's going to be said. The central legal issue will be self-defense. Prosecutors say Anthony pulled a knife and stabbed Metcalf. The defense says the full circumstances have not yet been heard. So we'll see what the defense
I've
has to
heard
say.
a couple of times of their idea of the full circumstances. He comes over. Remember, our guy's sitting innocently in a tent on his own designated side where that team is supposed to be for that track.
You're talking about the kid that was killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Carmelo comes over.
Sits in the same area.
Yeah.
Not his area.
And then our guy says, "You can't be here." And he says,
Touch me and find out. Yeah.
Touch me and see what happens. And he touches him. He said, "Touch me again and see what happens." And that's where he stabs him. Now he claims the self-defense is that he's 5'5", a buck and a half, and this other guy's early sixes, athletically built, and so that's why he was afraid for his life after he went over there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess again, I don't think of these things in colors. I think of these things, pardon the pun, but straight black and white, and so that, I mean, you could put a veil over the young men and not even tell me anything but the circumstances. And in this case, I would say, well, the person that did the stabbing needs to go to prison. Again, without even knowing anything about them. I don't know for Carmelo Anthony. Not and his color and all that doesn't matter to me. It's just now a kid died in a split second because of this altercation that was provoked by another kid who went to a place he wasn't supposed to be. I don't even think he went to that school. So that trial is starting today, and I'll tell you, it's already somewhat national, but the minute this gets into the real guts of it, and then the jury verdict comes in, it's scheduled to be a 2-week trial.
There've already been protesters from both sides. I say both sides, black and white. I don't understand how those defense attorneys ever let it get down to the fact that there were 3 blacks that they could pick at the end and not pick
Well,
them for
maybe in a
educators.
way, that's what they wanted. Maybe they're trying to be too cute for their own good and say, well, if we have an all-white jury and he gets convicted, we can appeal based on an element of racism. Maybe there's some
I'd love to
sinister
know how
approach.
many black people were in the pool.
Yeah, I don't
that they
know.
let go.
I don't know. It took a couple, 2 or 3 days to get to a pool. So I wanted to share that with you as well. Just keep an eye on that trial. It's going to be a big one. The other day, there was a story about a guy named Jack Carr. He's a writer, and he was contacted by a teacher in, let's see, I believe, in Northwest Mississippi, Flowood, Mississippi. I've never heard of it. But there was a teacher there whose students would not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. So the Pledge of Allegiance, I think, going back to our days, certainly my school days, do I remember the first thing we did every morning was we'd stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I will sometimes on a game on TV stand up in my own living room, not always.
Yeah, but being in the actual room, you're going to stand up and do the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance, whatever, my country to thee. In this case, in Mississippi, the students were remaining seated, so the teacher didn't really know how to change that and to instill some patriotism into her classroom. So this teacher said that many of her students are staying seated because they were frustrated with current politics and policies. The teacher, her name is Kelly McGinnis, introduced the students to Jack Carr, who's an author, which his novels include themes of service, sacrifice, patriotism, and duty. McGinnis, the teacher, said the books changed classroom conversations and behavior, with more students choosing to stand for the pledge and encouraging others to do the same. Carr said that the author said the story showed the power of teachers and reading, especially when students put down their phones and engage with books that make them think about America's history and sacrifices. It's so true how those of us in this room could convince anyone, I think, to stay seated for the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. I think we could do that. We have the power of what we know about how people communicate. We know what's out in the world today that floats around on the internet. We know what's on social media. I think we could use all of that in our brains to say, if our goal is to say to them or get them to not stand, we could convince them. We could have enough information to share with them.
I don't think I could find enough information to convince you not to. I'm surprised you think you could find enough to convince me.
No, I'm not saying me. I'm saying for students, younger people, that we could go to them and we could say enough to get them to stay
to those
seated.
Young little malleable brains,
to stay seated. Likewise, we could go to enough of them and in a much more positive way convince them, like this guy did, to stand. It's all about who has the ear of these students.
Mm-hmm.
And when, I mean, anymore these days, I don't know about you guys, I don't use Facebook anymore at home. I do at work, but not at home, never at home. Uh, but what limited stuff I now see on Facebook, I can't, it's AI, much of it's AI, and they'll come up with, it's just blatant, it's purposeful lying. Um, and a lot of times it's about sports personalities. The headline will say, "Can you believe what's happened to whomever?" And you dig in, and nothing's happened to whomever. And so it's just a bunch of BS. But we know that we have a filter. People like Sammy has a filter because he's associated with a company that does filter stuff. But these kids don't know any better. So somebody tells them that politics and politicians are bad, which most are, but that America's bad, which it isn't. Um, they're going to buy it. And it's sad to me because they are missing out on some of the most wonderful experiences in life. And that is to be proud of your country and your city and your town and your contributions. So kudos to this teacher who did what others should be doing. I think it's really important and very good. Scott Pelley. We know Scott Pelley. Scott Pelley's that arrogant. I think he's arrogant. CBS former anchor and 60 Minutes anchor
commentator. Yeah.
got canned after essentially berating his bosses. Now, I'll be happy to. I don't know about you, Jeff and Sammy. You've not run a business before, but I welcome people come in and say, Scott, can I just talk to you about maybe a different way of doing things, or here's a different idea, or whatever. As I get older, I'm far more interested in listening to that as I was when I was younger and thought I knew it all. But I don't understand why Scott Kelly thought it was okay to go in and basically just rip his company apart and not get canned. Why be surprised at that? But he did.
Part of it that I thought I'd heard was that um, when this woman at first took over,
Very wise.
yeah,
Yeah.
that she had come in and had just ripped everybody that worked there a new one and basically tore them down and made them all feel insignificant and be looking over your shoulders type of thing. And then um, over time, at this latest incident, he said that he believes she was brought in to destroy 60 Minutes. That
He
CBS
used the word murder.
didn't really want it to happen anymore. But what I found odd was on last night's, it's ABC, right?
CBS.
On last night's CBS Channel 11 News, they are giving quite a history and tribute, showing all these different places, these 13 different conflicts that he was over, and it was kind of like, and did everybody like it? I couldn't believe that they allowed them to do that in the
Yeah.
news broadcast after what had happened.
Yeah,
I was
I don't.
shocked.
I saw these some tributes by other people it's that old honor among thieves. Other people who are like Scott Pelley will always say, "You go, Scott. You're doing the right thing." When in fact they're just Scott Pelley is so biased, it's not even funny, and he's proven it. He doesn't even hold back anymore. But thankfully, he's gone. I'm certain he'll do his own independent thing like the rest of them do, like we do. But I'm happy to see that happen, and I'm no big fan of anybody that works at the New York Times. However, Barry Weiss was brought into CBS to make some big changes because they're suffering, and kudos to her, and see what happens. So there you have it on Scott Pelley. Nick Saban said in front of Congress yesterday, I don't know if you guys got to see any of it, but for you sports fans, Nick Saban was invited to come to Congress and say what really is wrong with NIL. And you don't have to be the world's greatest coach to know that NIL is screwed up, but you do have to be the greatest coach to know the intricacies of it because he dealt with it. It's largely why Nick Saban left coaching athletics at the college level and what to do about it. So NIL is essentially a free for all, wide open free agent drafting, free agent choosing, selecting.
Well, it goes hand in hand with the new portal because now the teams with the big NIL money are the ones that can get the best transfers coming in there.
Yeah.
And I don't think when NIL was ever created, remember who was one of the first people ever to get that money was Quinn Ewers when he was still in
Right.
Salt Lake High School as a quarterback. I don't think they envisioned that the dollars would get as big as they have, or they probably wouldn't have set it up without a whole bunch of restrictions.
Yeah, I mean, they must have, either that or they're not the brightest bulb on the tree. The challenge, if
From
you,
the education world,
well, yeah, but there are a lot of, oh, I'm not gonna say that, but I think the idea that you sit down and have a discussion about NIL, but then you don't rein in at least that kids can transfer unabashedly. I mean, you don't have to have a reason to transfer. You can just transfer. There are players who have played 4 years, been paid for it at 4 different schools. And so they can just transfer whenever they want to. It used to be that if you transferred, you had to sit out the next season. That was punitive enough for kids to think twice about transferring. So Saban got up there, and I wanted to share with you what Saban had to say. He urged Congress to pass federal legislation to bring order to college sports, especially around NIL money and the transfer portal. I think he thinks that most of the issues have to do with the portal and that there are
Right.
no boundaries on it. Saban argued the current system is becoming pay for play, where schools and outside, he calls them collectives, can create bidding wars for recruits and transfers, there was a story in this morning's paper where LSU had signed one of the country's best 5-star edge rushers. That's what you call them? Going to LSU. He announced it, video and all that. 5 hours later, the story comes out. He decommitted and committed to Miami. And what happened was that Miami came after the fact and said, "Well, you're getting $1 million to play. We'll give you $1 million, whatever." I'm just throwing around those numbers. I don't know the numbers, but that's what happened. And Saban's saying, "Well, you're paying this dude to simply play. It's not about his education, anything else. So what if he signed it?" And I think it's kind of poetic justice that it happened to Lane Kiffin. But Saban argues the system is becoming play for play, which I think it is. One issue that was largely ignored, according to this article, the huge salaries and contracts of college coaches, even while witnesses criticize how much money is now being spent on player rosters. Look, Kalen DeBoer of Alabama, who's had, on Alabama standards, has had a rough, he's had 4 losses in either both of the years, or 3 in the first year, 4 last year, whatever. That's not the Alabama way. So with the losing season, when we have we're defeated 1 or 2 times, but he just got a $13 million, I think, salary extension through 2033, something like that. So that's adding to the problem. And then the Senate is expected to keep working on the bill, which possible amendments coming next as lawmakers debate, blah, blah, blah. That's the concern I have, is that we've got these guys in Washington who never had a job, wouldn't know how to make a payroll if they had to. And they're weighing in. We voted them there, granted, but they're weighing in on these matters. And when the government gets a hold of it, who knows what will happen. But Saban says, you guys got to compel it to get right. So I'm with him there, because just as soon as we think our team's going to be awesome this year, you can't even do that in NFL, what's going on in college. And in many cases, as Sammy's written about, and we've talked about, you can make a lot more money as a college football player than you can as an NFL player.
Right.
That's insane.
It is. It's
think.
topsy-turvy.
Madden 2027, Sammy, do you see it?
I did see it.
Who's
And
on the
I
cover?
was surprised to see it on the agenda. Yeah, Caleb Williams.
You like that or no?
Thought it was. I mean, the Bears had a good season.
If I told you that on the front of Madden would be a quarterback who paints his fingernails, if I told you that 10 years ago, would you say
No, yeah, that would be.
What color does
I
he
would
paint 'em?
believe you. He paints them all
different
different.
colors?
Yeah.
During the season too?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep. There's basketball players that do it.
Jared McCain.
Yeah, they're you know what they say is that, like, it helps there's being creative. But Caleb Williams did it at USC. He's doing it with the Chicago Bears.
Once a year, I get my toenails painted.
Yeah.
Aren't you gonna say?
That's too much information. Well, am I going to say what?
When and why?
Why?
When I go to New Mexico and I'm gonna be around the pool a lot, I like to put a little
Yeah.
turquoise on them.
There. Oh yeah. You get them painted?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Toes.
I didn't hear that
Toes,
part.
not
Well,
fingers.
okay.
Not fingers.
Anyway, there you
Toes.
have it. One last thing before we get to our rhyme and our day in history. There is a judge, an Obama-appointed judge, if you haven't seen this story, who has cleared a left-wing group. The group, let me just see if I can find the group here. An Obama-appointed federal judge temporarily blocked the National Park Service from removing an anti-Trump 8647 flag near the National Mall, right there near the White House. The group is Accountability Now USA, flew the flag near the National Mall, alleging uh, that the National Park Service violated their First Amendment rights. All right. So the flag, I don't know how big it is, but it's a big flag. You can obviously see it says 8647, which, as we've heard and we know, 86 means get rid of. 47 is Trump's, one of his, he's the 45th and 47th president. A federal judge has ruled that an anti-Trump group may flag regarding reading 8647 near the White House. The government argued the phrase could be seen as threatening President Trump, with 47 referring to Trump and 86 interpreted by critics as a call to eliminate or kill. The judge rejected that argument, saying 86 can also mean remove or get rid of, and that the phrase is political speech rather than a true threat. That's a rogue judge, if you ask me. He knows better. He wouldn't want any of his kids named 86 little Johnny.
Whose property is this on?
It's on the National Mall, which is the country's property.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Let me finish. Say it after this. The ruling framed the flag as protected First Amendment expression, allowing the protest group to continue displaying it while the broader dispute over political speech and security concerns continues. The Trump administration has asked that this guy be removed from this case because his daughter, the judge's daughter, is the head of certain PACs that have to do with raising money for Democrats.
Okay, well, I don't know.
But the idea that we could have a flag that
can't
says
just go
kill our president.
Can you go just throw a flag next to Old Faithful?
Well, it's on the National Mall.
Can you put a flag in front of the Washington Monument?
I don't know all that stuff.
Know.
But I would say this, that if that flag said kill Trump, that judge would say, I would hope that judge would say, you can't fly that flag. Or if it said get rid of Trump or disappear Trump or unsee Trump.
If you're off property, fly whatever flag you want.
This is on U.S. property, so I don't know. But anyway, there you have it.
That's not adding up.
Insane. All right, rhyme time.
Mirrors and scales. Mirrors and scales don't lie. Excuse me. Mirrors don't lie, neither do scales. If you hear otherwise, someone's telling you tales. Mirrors and scales tell the old-fashioned truth. While AI is the rage, you can't believe a page. When you try to lose weight, don't take the bait. The scale number you see reflects what you ate. Here's the real deal that AI can't steal. The truth is not far. You are what you are. Mirrors don't lie, and I'll tell you why. They show the real you. That's all that they do. If you don't like what you see, make changes to thee. Then the mirror can say, you look better today.
Absolutely. I understand and agree. Very good, Jeffrey. All right. We didn't do it Tuesday, so we got to do it today. I don't know if you're going to do 2 sets of them, but today in history.
I'm going to do today's with my 9 and 2, and then I'll give you the couple best ones out of 10 and 0. Here we go.
All right, today in history.
All right. Congress approved the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which said the right of Americans to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by the state on account of sex. I'm sorry. This is the second one. Keep that in the pocket.
Okay.
Here's your first one. The U.S. House of Representatives passed its first declaration of war against Britain, approving the measure by 74-49. U.S. against Britain. This is after the revolution has ended and we are a country.
He's waiting on me. 1880.
1791.
The War of 1812.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
68 years old.
Now we are on the 19th Amendment on allowing
Okay.
can't discriminate on account of sex.
1891.
1915.
1919. Remember that suffragette
Wow.
movement?
Yes.
During World War II, the Allied military completed the evacuation of more than 338,000 troops from Dunkirk, France. And that is the Allied military. That's not the U.S., that's the people fighting in the war before we got in it with them.
41.
43.
40. Good work, Sam. The World War II naval battle of Midway began, which resulted in a decisive American victory against Japan.
What was the last one?
41.
1952.
1942.
42.
Oh.
Booyah.
You weren't picking up my head nod there, boy. Jonathan J. Pollard, a former U.S. intelligence analyst, pleaded guilty in Washington to conspiring to deliver national defense information to Israel.
82. Don't let us keep you awake, Sammy.
1979.
86.
Booyah. 79. You got it right,
Yeah, I
Sammy.
was in there, I think.
Vicky's weighing in here. Looks like she's pretty right so far.
Okay, nice job, Vicky.
Bingo.
Nice job, Vicky. And this is for a bonus, and don't let me down. Okay. You weren't living, but you should know a little bit about this, Sam. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of pro-democracy demonstrators and dozens of soldiers are estimated to have been killed when Chinese troops crushed a 7-week-long protest by demonstrators occupying Beijing's blank.
Tiananmen Square.
I don't know.
Repeat it.
It's Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square.
Oh, man.
I'll go 89.
84.
I went, the answer is 89.
It is 89?
The answer is 89.
Let's go.
I thought it was way newer than that. Dr.
Bonus.
Jack Kevorkian, bonus, carried out his first publicly assisted suicide, helping Janet Adkins, no relation to our councilman, a 54-year-old Alzheimer's patient from Portland, Oregon, end her life in Oakland County, Michigan.
2007.
No, I'm going to say 94.
90.
Okay.
A federal judge sentenced. We had this one that similar very recently. Let's go. Federal judge sentenced Terry Nichols to life in prison without parole for his role in the bombing of the Alfred P. Murray Federal Building in Oklahoma, which killed 168 people. And you've seen
And
that
we were
monument,
there.
Sam. You've seen that monument.
Yeah, so that, okay.
99.
98.
98.
Oh, my gosh.
Saudi Arabia issued its first driver's licenses to 10 women as the first step that month by the kingdom in lifting the world's only ban on women driving.
2009.
No way. 2006.
18.
2018.
Yeah, I missed it.
Wow.
All right, I finished 9 and 2 today. We don't have time for that other stuff.
I'm going to give you one. From
Okay,
the
give me
other ones.
one.
Baseball's Iron Horse Lou Gehrig died in New York of the degenerative disease amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease.
1939.
Oh, I was going to say 2016.
41.
There you have it. Well done, Vicky and Terry. I agree. Prescott has the weapons that he needs. Will be a fun season for sure. Not only that, the defense is got enough to. That's the difference here.
Yep.
We know Prescott's going to do his thing. It's just the defense has got to stand up. All right, true facts that sound like BS. Y'all ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
How about Wizard of Oz?
Love
Oh,
it.
no.
True or false? In the Wizard of Oz, which appeared in the late 30s, the dog playing Toto was paid an actual salary. Yes or no? True or false? The dog was paid a salary.
I got mine.
I got mine.
Well, one of y'all got to tell it.
True.
In the Wizard, yeah, he was paid $125 a week. This was more than many of the film's human actors were paid. You think about $125 in 1939 in a week? or 38, whatever it was.
I wonder
That's
what
a lot of money.
I wonder what they would do. Just get him steaks or what?
Oh, well, that's a good
I
question,
loved
Sammy.
him sitting in the Wicked Witch's basket
Yeah.
on the car.
I don't
flying
know. I
through
don't know
the
what they
air.
gave him. Anyway, we are sponsored by Hoosier Custom Meats in Italy, Texas. HOOSER. Hoosier Custom Meats. Sammy has the information you need on your screen. If you have any needs for ranch or farm, I should say farm raised beef, call the guys and the family at Hoosier Custom Meats. Tell them the boys at GGN sent you. With that, I say goodbye until, or not goodbye. See you later until next Tuesday, and have a very, very good weekend.
Have a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face today.
Boom.